Hey guys, Nicholas Serious TV here today. I'm not sure if you guys know who Chibi Reviews is. You may know him, you may not know him. He's a friend of mine. Never met him in real life, but I consider him a friend of mine. Always been there for me when I needed somebody's assistance, when I needed a helping hand or whatever. He was always there to show his love and support to me, and I'll forever be grateful for that. He's a good person, he's a good friend. Despite what the internet says about him, I never listen to the internet. I talk to the people directly. If they're a good person, they're a good person. If they're a bad person, I'll find out myself. I don't listen to the internet. The internet will tell you somebody's evil. I will talk to that person, and they turn out to be the best person I've ever met. So I never, and you should never, believe what the internet and these NPCs say on a daily basis. Anyways, going off tangent for a bit. Chiba Reviews had a traumatic experience these past few days where he thought about ending his life. He almost ended his life because his fiance cheated on him. He lost his best friend because of it, and he lost his friend group because of it. He talks about it in his videos. I don't want to talk about his story. Go watch his latest video if you want to know what happens. I don't want to use his story for views. I don't want to seem like I'm farming his situation. I want to use today to hopefully help somebody out there that is going through a similar situation. So I'm going to tell you guys a story. Story that I never really talked about. I gave little details about it throughout but I'm really going to go in depth with the story today, and hopefully it helps somebody. Before YouTube, I was a teenager. Yeah, can you believe that, guys? I was once a teenager. Now I'm like 50 years old. I'm pushing 80. I was graduating high school, and everybody in high school was moving on to college. That's what you do. That's not what I did. I didn't care about college. All I cared about was going home and playing games and talking to my online friends and shit. I didn't care about the future. I was a stupid teenager that the future was so far away from me. I'm still a teenager. I'll worry about that later. Little did I know, I should have been worrying about it then. I started working jobs like UPS, USPS, overnight shifts that were like 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., and I was miserable because that was going to be my life. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with if that's what you want your life to be, but I did not want that to be my life, you know? Just seeing all my friends moving on, being happy, having relationships, having friendships. And then you had me working 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. My days were flipped. I was going to bed when they were waking up. I was waking up when they were going to bed. I stopped seeing my friends. I lost all my friends. I barely saw my family. I was alone. And it really put me down a dark path. My anxiety started building up to a 10 out of 10. My depression built up to a 10 out of 10. I started leaving my jobs because I was nervous to go into work every single day. Yeah, I was Nicholas Dark, like as Nicholas Dark as it gets. It's crazy. Fast forward a bit, I started a YouTube channel, and I started reacting to K-pop content. Blackpink, BTS. Found success in that, was extremely grateful. I went from making hundreds of dollars to thousands of dollars up to like maybe $3,000. I felt like I was on top of the world. I was rich. You know, I was getting all that attention, like 50, 60,000 subscribers within like 2 months. Crazy time, right? I never imagined that would be my life back then. I met a girl through that content that lived in Europe, and I spent a few years like talking and being with that girl. Moved there, she moved here to New York. By the way, this girl isn't my wife. It's a different girl. It's way before that. I liked her at the time. You know what I mean? As a lot of people do when they're in a relationship. And it really started controlling me, right? She actually, or obviously had a taste, and it was K-pop Korean men, and she wanted me to be like a K-pop Korean man. So it messed with my confidence, it messed with my heart, it messed with everything, where I felt like I had to be Korean and super skinny so I would not eat, so I could potentially look like Jungkook from BTS. And I would have my hair like this, like a K-pop idol, you know what I mean? Like, I was trying to be Korean, but obviously that's hard when you're a white Italian man, right? But it really messed with me. Towards the end of that relationship, you know, she was talking to other guys that she told me not to worry about. And I'm not here to be like, fuck that bitch, whatever. Y'all could guess what happened towards the end of that relationship based off what I just said. It broke my heart. You know, we split up. I went down an even darker path than I mentioned previously. I made terrible decisions in my life. Money decisions. Not like, you know, I became a pedophile or something. I made terrible money decisions. Fucked with my family's money. Fucked up my money, up any possible future I could possibly have. And I really wanted to end my life. And I would put myself in dangerous situations to try to kill myself, to try to end my life. I would hope and pray every fucking day that the next day would never come and today would be my last. Something told me not to end my life. There has to be something else. You know, if I came into all of this success after being in the dark, after not even graduating, or after I graduated high school, guys, and not going to college and having no friends and barely talking to my family, and I found that success still just by being myself, there has to be something else out there. This cannot be the end of it. This cannot be the top of my life. This cannot be me in my prime. So I kept pushing. I tried different content, and eventually that led me to anime. That led me to you guys. And you saved my life. Honestly, anime saved my life, which eventually then led me to my wife. This would have never been possible if I ended my life back when I was in my darkest moment. Back when I said to myself, let's give myself one more chance, and let's see what happens. So instead of going down the path that leads you to hell or heaven, I went down the path of giving myself one more chance. And thank God I did, because none of this would be possible. I am now living my best life because I chose to give myself another chance, another shot at life. I'm not saying to copy and paste my journey, but you could use it as an example. There could be light at the end of that tunnel. Light in that cave that you're currently in. Light in the darkness. Nicholas light, right? Even if it doesn't feel temporary in a moment, learn to not make permanent decisions out of how you're feeling in the moment. Because in that moment, a long time ago, when I was heartbroken about that girl, I thought my life was over. Fast forward a few months later, I forgot what she looked like. You know what I mean? And it may take other people longer to deal with trauma, to deal with situations like that. But you'd be surprised with how the mind, body, heart, and soul works. I'm not a spiritual person at all. You're getting all of this knowledge and all of this experience from somebody that is not religious, is not spiritual. I'm just living my life, and I'm just trying to give you guys a little lesson here. Give yourself a chance. It may take time. It took me time to really find myself, to really be happy. I'm not saying start a channel. I mean, go ahead. If you want to start a channel, go ahead. Try your best. Whether it's finding a hobby, joining a club, working hard towards a job that you want or a career that you want, finding a new friend, whatever. You got to do it. You got to work towards it. You could sit there, you could cry, you could complain all day long. That's not going to do anything. You cannot feel bad for yourself. And that's what I had to learn. I felt bad for myself on a daily fucking basis. I shouldn't be feeling this way. Why'd she do that to me? I'm such a good person. Oh, why am I so sad? Why am I so depressed? You know what I mean? Like, you could sit there every single day, every single minute of every single day thinking like that, but it's going to get you nowhere. You should be moving forward. And I know it's hard, but you should be moving forward. Work hard. Work on yourself. Learn to be alone. When I learned to be alone and not depend on anybody else to bring me happiness, I found my own happiness. And that's what led me to meeting my wife, my forever love, my forever girl, literally my forever. And all it took was me learning how to love and be by myself. I was by myself for years before I found her. I didn't even go on dates. I barely saw my friends. I just wanted to learn how to live life and be happy by myself. Played games, watched movies, literally watched a movie every single day. But I did things that were just about me. I was as selfish as it could be. And selfish doesn't have to be a negative term. You know, it could be, but I never saw being selfish in that regard. I saw it as the most positive thing, most awakening experience that I've ever had. And because I was selfish, only thinking about myself and putting myself first for the first time in my life without depending on other people to make me happy, I was able to find true happiness. And now I know what love looks like. I was able to look in my wife's eyes for the first time ever and realize this is love. This is what I want forever. And whatever challenges we have ahead of us, we'll deal with them together. Not alone, not separately, together. I would have never known what love truly looks like if I didn't find myself, if I didn't find happiness my own way, being alone, if I didn't learn how to love myself, because I hated myself when I was with that girl the girl I was with previously to my wife. I hated myself even before then, after then. I hated myself. I hated how I looked. I hated how I dressed. I hated how I talked, how I walked. I hated my life. I hated everything about me. And now I love myself. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes just like you, just like anybody does. Everybody makes mistakes. But that's what it means to be human, as cliche as that sounds. It's true. So overall, what I want to tell you guys, that if you're depressed, if you're stressed, if you're anxious, these are all feelings that everybody feels. You're not alone. I told this to Chibi Reviews. Look at the community you built. You say you're alone because you lost your fiance, you lost your friends, you lost all these people. But look at this community you built of people that might feel alone themselves, but now you're part of this community. Learn to be by yourself. Learn to love yourself, accept yourself, despite what everybody else may say about you. Learn to be present. Learn to be yourself. That's all I can say to you guys. Learn to be alone. Don't depend on other people. Do not, because it's toxic. It could be a very dangerous decision. You know, I love you guys, even if you hate me. I get a lot of shit on a daily basis because of the way I talk, because of my beliefs, how I see the world. But at the end of the day, I don't want anybody to die, especially those amongst my community. I don't want anybody to consider ending their lives. You belong here, and I want you to find why you belong here. I want you to find yourself. I want you to find your happiness, your peace. I want you to find love. It doesn't have to be with another person. I want you to find love with yourself. I want you to look in the mirror and be proud and happy about who you are and what you're doing or what you're working towards. It could even be something as easy as going to a gym. And that's not easy at all. I'm struggling with that right now. The situation with Chibi Reviews really put a lot into perspective for me. It opened my eyes to a lot. What really matters and what doesn't matter. What really matters is health, happiness, and love. And if you focus on these three things, I think you're going to have a great life ahead of you guys. If you're in the dark right now, light exists. He's right here. I'm joking. Light does exist. Don't think you're in solitary confinement in space or something. You know what I mean? Like, no. The light does exist. It may be far away. Maybe years away. It may be a day away. It may be there tonight. It may be there in a minute from now. I don't know. Always fight towards that light because it exists. If you're feeling down right now, I want you to know it's going to get better. And trust me, I hated when people told me that when I was feeling down. It's going to get better. You're like, damn it, bro, I want it to be better right now. You got to be patient with the process. Don't rush the process. Let it play out. And I promise you it'll be worth the wait. And you're going to be proud of yourself. You know, I look in the mirror every morning, and I'm proud of myself. Every morning I wake up to the most beautiful person in the world. Every night before I go to bed, I kiss the most beautiful person in the world goodnight. That would not be possible if I didn't give myself another chance. And I'm extremely grateful for that chance and not ending my life. Because life begun, I chose to move forward. And I want life for you guys as well.